Howdy, howdy. So, I'm back at work and feeling much better. Took all of my antibiotics. Honestly, this is probably really, well, I mean, it is. It's really bad, but it's the first time I've actually, maybe second, I've finished out one of those actual, all of the antibiotics. And I know you're supposed to, and not doing it is really bad for you. But I did it this time. Yay! Anyway, um, let's see. Told you I went back to work. Um, I heard the song from Mulan. I wanted to share it with you. Uh, but as a precursor, I'll say that my former Young Women's leader wrote me and just asking how life was, what I was up to. So I said I'm working. I got a kitten. Still coughing. um, taking testosterone, right? She wrote me and she was like, "So I heard you changed your name," and I was like, "Yeah," and she was like, "Why?" And I was like, "I'm trans," and she was like, "Oh, okay." Um, I mean, she was just really kind about it. She didn't understand, but I mean, it's different, you know? Everybody's different. You don't truly understand. And so, I didn't expect her to. I don't expect people to who are cisgender. Just kind of like, okay, so I've got it's bugging me. I've got a light, and it's better than not seeing me, but now it's a little too bright, you know? Um, it's okay, you know? We will all understand that Jack is very pasty and always has been. Yeah, so it was really good, and I wrote her and talked with her about it, and she was very loving. It was wonderful. Anyway, so during it, I was trying to explain how do you know? How do you know what you are? You know, how do you know what gender you are? It's hard because it's like if I have always felt this way, how do you compare it to anything else? Because this is how I've always felt, you know? Um, and yeah, anyway. So, I'm trying to explain what it felt like, the difference to recognize, to know, and to be like, oh my God, this is me. This is why this makes sense. This totally makes sense. God, this is what I've been feeling, right? Well, okay, so Mulan. Mulan is one of my favorite shows. Always has been, even before I knew I was trans. But I don't really remember why. I just think I always thought of her as a strong female lead. And after I came out as trans, I thought it was kind of funny, you know, some of the things she says, some of the things she does. I mean, in the end, I don't really think she's trans, but I did think it was very interesting. Um, so I wanted to read some of these lyrics, and oh my god, they totally okay. I know. Anyway, so they totally explain, you know, how I'm feeling a little. Anyway, if you heard the song Reflection, she's just gotten back from being rejected as a no, sorry, reflection, not rejection. She was rejected by the town matchmaker, and as like is like you will never be a bride or something like that. Anyway, so she goes back and she's like thinking about herself. She's failed her family honor and everything, right? And she's thinking about herself and she sings to herself and she says, "Look at me. You may think you see who I really am, but you'll never know me. Every day is as if I play a part. Now I see, if I wear a mask, I can fool the world, but I cannot fool my heart." And she says, "Who is that girl I see, staring straight back at me? When will my reflection show who I am inside? I am now in a world where I have to hide my heart and what I believe in, but somehow I will show the world what's inside my heart and be loved for who I am. Who is that girl I see?" Ah, totally relate. Staring straight back at me. Why is my reflection someone I don't know? Must I pretend that I'm someone else for all time when my reflections show who I am inside? There's a heart that must be free to fly. Maybe this is Christina Aguilera's. No, I don't know. Must there be a secret me I'm forced to hide? I won't pretend that I'm someone else for all time. When will my reflection show who I am inside? And then she becomes a man and she feels more at one with herself, right? Right? Well, she, because I don't think she's trans in the end, you know. Interesting thing she says. Um, so yeah, no, okay, for the first time, I watch myself here. I'm watching myself on the computer right there, and I look in the mirror, and for the first time in my life, these past 10 months, I look in the mirror and I say, haha, whole person there. I see myself. Before I would see myself and I'd see myself in my eyes, you know, but I couldn't really see myself. It didn't feel like myself. I could see that in my own way I was a beautiful woman, but I didn't really feel a connection to the person I saw. And now I look in the mirror and I say, I know who that is. That's me. And I love it. I love it. I love looking in the mirror and seeing me. I didn't know what I was missing because I always did things that way, you know. Um Anyway, so that's one thing to talk about. Another thing is of a very sensitive nature, and I'm smiling, but I'm not joking. But let me say it again. I'm sorry. I'm still like I'm happy about the reflection thing. So I'm not laughing or smiling about this. I take this very seriously. Uh, the next thing I'm going to talk about is of a very serious nature because it's very sacred to people, and I don't mean to offend. I just mean to say wow, this person said exactly what I've been thinking. You know. About Joseph Smith. So if you're Mormon and if you don't want to hear something about Joseph Smith that you won't like, then even if it's true, then you are welcome to stop watching. You can make the decision. I will give you 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, Joseph Smith. Okay. I found an awesome article on the web called Rape Apology and Joseph Smith, and it was on the blog site Molly Muses. It's apostate Mormon. Oh, can't believe I used that word. She used the word, which is why I used it. An, a former Mormon who left the Mormon church and muses about certain things about the church or about similar topics. Anyway, because when you've spent so many years dedicating your life to something, and then you find out that it's treading on delicate ground here. Not true for certain, and what definitely I'm gonna say it. I don't mean to offend, but that it does more harm than it says it does, and it does less good than it says it does. Um, it it's very personal because um, it's between you and the church, and it's between you. Well, I mean, in this example, it's between you and the church, and it's between you and the things you were taught, and it's very personal because it was such a part of your life. And I'm talking from experience here. Anyway, so after this happens, people say, oh well, when people leave the church, they just don't want to leave the church alone. Well, yeah, you dedicated how much money and how much time and how much effort and how much like how many years? You know what I mean? And then you find out that it's this organization that you dedicated so much of your life to, so much of your beliefs to, so much of your effort and time and money, right? To, and then you find out that it's not what it says it is. Yes, you might be angry, and yes, you're going to feel hurt and sad and confused and all of these feelings that are totally understandable. And you are going to want to change things. You're going to want to say to the people in your life, whoa, did you know this? Because I bet you didn't know this. And I don't know what you guys have done, to those of you who have left the church, but I have tended to take the approach that everybody's different, and although I don't think that this is tender ground too, that people can be truly happy in an abusive and manipulative environment. Uh, I think there are things about the church. People have found a way to live deeply in it and still be very, very happy. And I would never want to tear that away from anybody. Plus, I think it would be wrong to to make a comment on an individual's choices in life if they weren't hurting someone or being hurt. You know what I mean? Um. So, uh, yeah, I don't believe in God, but you believe in God, and so long as you don't tread on my feet, I'm fine with that, you know? I don't want you to hurt anybody. I don't want you to encourage people to hurt anybody or condone hurting anybody, just like I expect the same of myself. You know what I mean? Okay. So, anyway, Joseph Smith had more wives than not. I'm just joking. No, but really. Um, but I don't really have a problem with that. It's how he got a lot of them to marry him, and I'm not going to talk about a lot because I don't have a lot of time left. But there were several that married him under threat of damnation, and he did have sex with his wife, and it seems interesting to me that let's see, it's difficult to be honest when you're working with people you don't want to hurt, and these things might hurt them. So I'm gonna say it, and I really am trying to look out for everybody. I'm sorry, but when you manipulate someone into a relationship where they have sex with you under threat of damnation, which is something they don't want to do, you have raped them. So, um, people used to say Joseph Smith's a rapist, and um, I would, I was like, you're just trying to make Joseph Smith look bad because you hate him and the world hates him, and they spread all these lies about him. But no, these the way he got these women to marry him, these are documented facts. I'm not joking, and I will put the site at the bottom here down for the article, Rape Apology in Joseph Smith, and because she did an excellent job of writing everything down. And I thought this was really interesting. I'm gonna, you know what? Screw this. I'm going to post a second video. So she did an excellent job before I start the second one. Of documenting everything right in her blog, and I've already seen all of this before. And this is really nothing new, but the way she talked about it and talked about rape apologists, people who make victim blame or make excuses for the rape, or um yeah, she talks about rape apology. That's what a rape apologist is. So anyway, she talks a lot about it, and talks in her comments as well on this post, that they really get into why this is rape and what the intricacies of everything. Anyway, I'll be back in just a second.